Hi friends, welcome to Sailor Calypso Says. I'm your host, Sailor Calypso, aka Angelina. If you're new here, in this podcast we talk about pop culture and many other nerdy, nostalgic things. We'll try to keep it to the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, but sometimes things go sideways and we don't stick to a script. On every episode, we will also try a fun snack food that is not normally found here in Western Canada. And I will probably also read some mail we've received recently. Stick around, you might like what you hear. Hi friends, Angelina Sailor, aka Sailor Calypso here, and I am with Mauriah today from Melted Magic, and thank you for joining me.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to tell everyone a little bit about your business?
All right, so I got started with my kids a few months back, making art with perler beads, aka fusible beads, aka melty beads. Um, we had gone to there's game this game playing and slash coffee shop kind of place in Grand Forks. And
The Boardroom Cafe?
that's the one, yeah.
Yeah.
And they had some they had some bead art there of various video game characters, movie characters, sort of thing. And that just kind of got me thinking, and so I started making them. And I went quickly from the little kit patterns to more complicated stuff. I think the first ones that I made were Mario characters, and from a pattern book that I got at they actually had the farmers market at the same time, and so the lady who made those was at the farmers market, and so I bought a Mario pattern book off of her, and that was kind of where that all started. And then of course the kids saw me doing this, so they said, "Hey mom, can we try this too?" So I said, "Oh sure." So it went quickly from the little basic things to all things pop culture, geeky, nerdy kind of stuff. And I was accumulating a collection of it. So my husband said, "Well, maybe you should start selling these, because you've got all of these and you're just going to keep collecting them, and we don't have the space for all of that." So I said, okay. And we signed up for the Trail Farmers Market, and we had to come up with a name for it. So we were, spitballing at me and Sarah, my daughter, and I just threw out, well, what about Melted Magic? And so yeah, oh, we like that. Okay. And so yeah, the whole idea was that this is something that we all kind of did, me and the kids as a family, and so we've been able to make a lot, well, we've been able to make a lot of different things, and the kids have their own particular things that they like to make more. And I mean, initially they were really, really into it. Then I realized, oh, some of this is a little bit of work. So for a while there, a lot of it was me, but they kind of got back into it. And we've been able to essentially cover the costs of buying supplies, and put some of that towards family summer trips. And since then we've been in several different farmers markets over the last few months, Nelson and here in Trail. And so it's been neat to see what people are really interested in, what really sells. And what people would like to see us make. And yeah, it's been a cool creative outlet that, you know, has been, a little side hustle, I guess, as it were, for a little extra cash kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, everyone has to have their side hustle nowadays, I guess. Um, it's more fun that way. Um, I was gonna ask, so you use perler beads, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
I've also heard of Hema beads. I guess they're similar or something.
Yeah, I haven't personally used them, but they're
Me.
another one of the, I guess, bigger names. I mean, Perler's just a brand, and Hama's just a brand, but I prefer using, one of the, I guess, name brands, just for
Yeah.
quality and consistency. I've tried the dollar store ones. I've tried the cheapo ones that you can get at Walmart, and they're just not as good.
Do they
They
just turn into like a puddle of goo when you iron
well,
them?
they melt,
Oh,
but they don't melt as well, as
yeah.
evenly. Um, the thickness of the beads is a lot less consistent. So while the outer diameter is pretty consistent, the inner diameter can be really inconsistent or really
Oh,
uneven, and so it just doesn't look as nice.
hmm.
And I figured, I mean, I'm kind of picky anyway, so I want it to look as nice as it can, but I don't want to sell stuff that looks like garbage,
Yeah.
you know?
For anyone listening who doesn't know what perler beads are, basically they're little beads that you iron after you make a pattern and they make something cool. They lend themselves really well to 8-bit video game characters because the little beads kind of melt into little squares and that works out really well for pixels. Um, so yeah, that's
Yeah.
a bit about them. How do you choose what characters you do?
Um, Sometimes it's a matter of just, hitting up Pinterest, seeing what shows up on my feed. Sometimes I'll start with an idea like I want to make something Star Wars, and I'll, look up, okay, what can I find for Star Wars for Perler? And then, I'll usually find something that kind of sparks my interest, and it's like, yeah, I want to make that. And sometimes it's like, oh, I know people like X, so I'll make X. And then and I think as long as it's kind of that, I don't know, pop culture geeky kind of vibe, I'm usually down with it. I do try to keep it, fairly, like PG kind of thing. I don't do any of the really, off color or, otherwise inappropriate stuff. I try
Yeah,
to keep it, somewhat family friendly. So I mean, there's like, Marvel stuff. I really like to do Mario. Um,
Pokemon.
yes, Pokemon's definitely very popular, especially Pikachu, of course. But he also lends himself really well to different designs.
Yeah.
And I don't know, personal favorite for me is Kirby.
Oh
He
yeah.
There's a lot of different designs for Kirby, and he's just this fun little cutie. And so yeah, it's usually, I might have an idea in my head, and I'll, punch it in and see what I can find. Um, but yeah, so those are some of my definite favorites. I like Grogu. He's a fun one to do as well. I made a massive one, probably, oh, well, how big? Let's see, about like, definitely probably like 12 by 18, something like that, easily inches. Yeah,
For people who don't know what Grogu is, most people call him, I mean, they're
yeah,
wrong,
Baby
but most
Yoda.
people call him Baby Yoda.
Yeah,
um, they're definitely wrong, but that's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Cool.
Uh,
Um, yeah, neat. Um, I are most of your kids adults? or are most of your customers kids, adults, or like a mix of the in between?
It's kind of a mix, actually. There's definitely some things that really appeal to the kids. Um, Minecraft, Among Us, some of the like the Pokemon or the Marvel stuff as well. But I've found that a lot of it also appeals to people who are, kind of in our age bracket, that are looking for the nostalgia factor. They love the Mario and the um like various, old cartoon kind of characters, old video game characters. Definitely Link is a popular one. But yeah, they'll see something and, oh, I love that. I haven't seen that since I was a kid, that sort of thing. So it's kind of an interesting mix. I mean, I I don't get as many of the people, say, beyond like 50-ish or something like that, unless they're buying something for a grandkid. Oh, I know my grandkid likes this.
Yeah.
So, I'm gonna get this one or whatever. Or yeah, a
Yeah.
lot of the older generation, they're not even sure, what bead art is, kind of thing. And yeah, sometimes it's kind of fun to explain the process to people and show them, okay, this is what a pegboard is. This is what we, lay the beads out on, and we iron them and so on. Yeah, a really a mix of ages. And yeah.
I know that if you sold at markets up here, I would buy a lot of stuff. Um, yeah, I think a lot of the retro characters are very cool. Obviously, I'm one of those nerdy nostalgia people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'd definitely be a good customer for you. Um, I was gonna ask you how far you kind of answered this, but how far have you traveled to sell stuff? Like, I think you
um
said Nelson.
yeah, so Nelson is as far afield as we've gone so far. But we've also done the Christmas market at the mall in the old Zillers building. And yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty good. As much as I worked up to it with all, making all the stuff and whatnot, I still found myself thinking, oh gee, I could have made a bunch more. Because, after the first day, it's like, oh, there's all these gaps in my table from all the stuff that I've sold, which is good. But yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, it's mainly been Trail and Nelson so far. Um, yeah, it's
Yeah.
about as far as we've gotten, although I have made some for friends who live a little further afield. Um, I have some friends in Abbotsford that I've made a few things for. And so, I mean,
Oh.
they've made them for, or they've made it further away, but yeah, not us personally.
Do you ever come back up here?
I have not in years. I would love to. It's been a long time since I've seen everybody up there. It's just it's a big trip, right? It's a long way to go.
Yep.
And yeah.
I understand because no one comes to visit me. Anyways, I digress. The podcast doesn't need to know about that part of my life. But for people who don't know, I said back because Mauriah actually from here in Prince George originally, right?
Yeah, spent a
That's
lot of
good.
years in Prince George.
I'm glad I didn't just make that up. Um,
We
because
both went
sometimes
to
I make stuff
UMBC.
up. Yeah, but at different times.
Yeah, different
just
times.
just to clarify, I know Mauriah from before, not here. But anyways, um, I was gonna, oh yeah, I was gonna tell you, I used to make things with pearl beads when I think when they originally came out, when I was a kid, I used to make a lot of
Yeah.
coasters and oh, and then, but I used to make a lot of magnets and then gave them to my grandma. And then my grandma, I guess she kept them for all this time because I have them again now. My grandma passed away a few years ago and we were going through her house and I found them all.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, well, I'm gonna take these back because they survived. So I guess the quality, I was surprised they survived that long, honestly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, it was really good. None of them were broken or anything. It was crazy. Yeah, good quality.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, that for the construction of them, actually, like that's why I mount them on both sides, because they're sturdier, they last longer.
mhm.
I think on the website, the Perler website, they have you melting the one side, but
Yeah.
then it they can kind of bend and warp a little more, and
Mhm.
yeah, I like that they're sturdy.
Yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
it's definitely I like when they last longer because you don't want like a magnet or something and or Christmas ornament that falls apart like in a couple of years.
yeah.
So
And yeah,
it's
speaking of
good.
Christmas ornaments, that was a big seller at the Christmas market. Um I wanted to do some Christmas themed stuff, and when I typed it in there, all these different kind of ornaments popped up, and so I did Marvel, I did Among Us, I did Star Wars, Mario, like
Oh, you have Doctor
Star
Who.
Trek, yeah, and Doctor Who, yep. Have a Dalek on a sleigh, is one of
Yeah,
them. And, yeah, it was just a really fun, creative, process to do. I even got the kids in on some of that. Um, yeah, like Minecraft, even,
cool.
you name it, people came up with a Christmas ornament idea for it.
Yeah. Well, as long as there's a market, I guess keep going.
Yeah, right.
テイストテストタイム。
Um, well, I think we should do the taste test time. Are you ready for the green tea pocky? Oh, I didn't tell anyone. Today we're taste testing green tea pocky. Um, full disclosure, I've tasted this before, but Mauriah hasn't.
Yeah.
So you're gonna get new reactions from Mauriah. And for me, it's been a while since I've eaten it. So you might get a newish reaction for me too, but you go first.
I apologize for the rustling. Okay, here we go. Definitely tastes like green tea. It's definitely a
Yes.
very plantish edge to it.
Oh yeah.
Well, I mean, it tastes like tea, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're actually not bad. You can definitely taste the green tea.
Is it bitter to you?
Not really, no, it's got a sweetness to it, like it's, I don't know, green tea cream, it says, but
Yeah, matcha. It's matcha. Um, definitely smells. When you open the box, they definitely smell like green tea. It's very scenty experience. Uh
yeah, actually, better than I thought they would be. I wasn't sure what to expect.
yeah. I remember not liking the green tea that much, but being okay with them, but now I like them way more because now I've developed taste for green tea stuff, I think. Um
I think
um
I think my
I
favorite so far is the almond crush ones that have
yeah.
like the crushed almond and the chocolate.
Hmm.
Those ones are pretty good.
Yeah. Eggplant is really not good.
They make an eggplant one?
Yes, I have tasted eggplant pocky before and they're not good.
Wow.
Um yeah, I regretted it after biting into the first one. But I haven't seen them since then. I think Glico, which is the company that makes Pocky, I
Yeah.
think They have a lot of different kinds, and some of them have been seasonal. I heard somewhere that they make a new flavor every month or something. I don't know if that's true, but so they have to have a lot of flavors.
Yeah, I also picked up a chocolate banana one.
Yeah,
I haven't tried that yet, but
we tried it on episode 2. It's very banana-y. It's not bad though, but you have to like bananas,
yeah,
obviously.
I'm kind of so-so on the banana,
Mm.
but the kids love it. So I don't know. I actually am one of those weird people that prefers the artificial banana flavor to the real thing.
Oh, you might like these then.
So yeah, I guess we'll see.
I have banana flavored chips that I haven't tried yet. They're from Korea, I think. Sorry, I keep looking to my left because my phantom cat is out. I have a cat. For everyone listening who doesn't know, I have a cat and she's a rescue and I've never petted her and I've had her for like 7 months. She's very elusive. Um, but she came out and she's eating right now, so she's kind of distracting me. Anyway, such things happen. Do you want to share your social media things? You don't have to, but you can.
Um, yeah, I'm trying to remember.
It's Melted Magic Beads on Facebook.
Yeah, that's
I
the
have it up in front of me. Do you have any other social media? I haven't even looked, but
no, just the Facebook at this point.
okay. And then for me, as usual, I have my previous episodes of my podcast you can find on Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Amazon Music. And if you want to get in touch with me, you can reach me at Sailor Calypso Says on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and or send me an email, sailorcalypsosays@gmail.com. Thank you very much, Mauriah, for joining me.
Yeah, thank you for having me. It's been fun.
Enjoy this
Yeah,
Pocky there.
I'll enjoy this coffee.
All right, see you later.